The movie begins with Kate and Matt, a married couple who love each other and have just moved into their new house. The house needs some renovation and repairs. It's a two-story home, and on the upper floor, there are lots of old belongings left behind by the previous owner. Matt keeps throwing away the old furniture until he finds a large metal key, which he tosses out along with the rest. Meanwhile, Kate is cleaning the kitchen when she finds a dead bird on the floor. She goes outside to bury it, but gets startled when Matt throws some old furniture out the window. When she returns to bury the bird, she discovers that it has disappeared. She goes back inside to continue cleaning. While Matt is tidying up, he notices a door hidden behind wallpaper. He peels the paper away until the entire door is revealed. He realizes the key he threw away looks exactly like the one that could open the door, so he goes searching for it. After finding it, he unlocks the door and calls Kate to come see the room he's discovered. They think it's just an extra space in the house and don't pay it much attention. That night, they rest after a long, tiring day. The next day, a technician from the electric company arrives to check the wiring, as the house's electricity isn't working properly. Matt goes with him down to the basement, where they find a tangle of old, complicated wires. The technician explains that the electrical system is very outdated and hasn't been manufactured in years, so he can't do much about it. He then asks Matt if he's not from the area, because otherwise he wouldn't have bought this particular house. When Matt asks why, the technician tells him that a murder once happened there, and ever since, no one has dared to live in or buy the place. After the technician leaves, Matt decides to investigate the history of the house and find out what really happened there. He reads that the owners of the house were murdered by an unknown person who had no records or identity. The killer was caught after committing the crime and sentenced to life imprisonment in a mental hospital. His identity remained unknown, and he was only referred to as John Doe. Matt keeps reading the old news articles until night falls, and he notices that Kate has fallen asleep on the couch. He decides to go sit for a while in the mysterious room they discovered, taking a bottle of whiskey with him. He keeps drinking until the bottle is empty, then says out loud that he wishes he had another one. Suddenly, the flashlight beside him turns off, and when it flickers back on, he finds a new bottle of whiskey in front of him, just like he wished for. Shocked and confused, he stares in disbelief at what just happened. When morning comes, Kate wakes up and realizes Matt hasn't slept all night. She goes into the room and finds him surrounded by original Van Gogh paintings and all kinds of expensive items. Matt tells her to wish for something she wants. Jokingly, she says, "I wish for $1,000. The lights in the room flicker off and on again, and suddenly, Matt finds $1,000 lying there. Kate is stunned and asks him what kind of trick he's playing, but Matt explains that there's no trick. The secret lies within the room itself. He asks her to try again, and this time, she wishes for $1 million. Instantly, a pile of money appears before her eyes. The couple spends the whole day wishing for everything they ever wanted, thrilled and full of joy. As an artist, Matt wishes for the original paintings of the world's greatest artists to decorate their home, and the room grants him every one of them. They were happy with what the room could do, and although they now had the power to get anything they wished for, Kate still felt something was missing. The most important thing of all, being a mother. Doctors had told her that her chances of having a baby were very low because she had miscarried twice before. Matt tried to comfort her. He even prepared a nursery room in the house and asked her to try again. But she refused, saying she couldn't handle losing another child. She wasn't ready to go through that pain again. Matt left her alone and went outside to clear his mind. When he returned, he was shocked to find Kate holding a baby in her arms. He immediately understood the terrible thing she had done. She had wished for a baby from the room. Matt told her that nothing alive should come out of that room because everything it created was an illusion, not real. He insisted that she make the room take the baby back, the same way it had made him appear. But Kate couldn't bring herself to say anything. She was terrified that if she spoke, the room might take the child away. She begged Matt to do it instead, but the moment he picked up the baby, it started crying in his arms, and he, too, became unable to speak. He handed the baby back to Kate and left the room in distress. Kate began to raise the child, while Matt couldn't stop thinking about John Doe, the murderer who had killed the house's previous owners. He continued investigating and found an old statement from John Doe saying that the room was what made him commit the crime, after he used it to create money and wealth. Determined to learn more, Matt decided to visit the mental hospital where John Doe was imprisoned. He told the staff he was a journalist who wanted to interview him, and the nurse allowed it. When Matt finally met John Doe, he told him he was living in the same house where the murders happened. John Doe instantly understood why Matt was there and asked him if he'd been enjoying the room and if he'd wished for everything he ever wanted. Then he warned Matt, "You need to take my advice, leave that house, and erase the room from your memory forever." But he knows that's not going to happen. They must live with the consequences of their wishes. Matt gains nothing from John Doe's warning and returns home. On the way, he stops at a gas station to fill the car. When he takes money from his pocket, it has turned to ash, and he can't understand what's happening. Back at the house, he throws a lot of money out of the window, and before it hits the ground, it also turns to ash. He takes one of the paintings from the room and places it on the doorstep. He watches the part that lies beyond the threshold turn to ash and realizes that anything that goes past the house's threshold disintegrates. Matt goes back into the room and smashes things trying to understand how it works, but finds the walls and the whole house lined with wires like those in the basement. Then he sees Kate coming out of the house with the baby. He tries to warn her, but Kate doesn't believe him and stands outside with the child. The baby's body suddenly starts growing, and Kate screams because she doesn't understand what is happening. Matt can only stand by and listen to his wife's screams without being able to help. A neighbor comes out to bring the child back inside. They see that the baby has grown into a suddenly large child. Kate gives the child a bath and leaves him asleep, then goes down to Matt to ask what happened. Matt explains that the room can make anything, but only on one condition. Nothing created there may ever leave the house. Anything that crosses the threshold will perish and turn to ash. They then discover the child has woken and is standing behind them. As time passes, Kate treats the child as if he were her own son. She raises and teaches him and names him Shane. She tells him he is ill and that he cannot go outside the house because he would catch many germs and might die. Matt has become completely withdrawn from them, locking himself in his room, obsessed with figuring out how the room works. He grows so paranoid that he orders a package containing a gun to protect himself from any situation. Kate, on the other hand, is entirely focused on keeping Shane inside the house and making sure he never tries to go out. She even boards up the windows from the outside. Shane lives locked inside, and Kate worries about him constantly, even about the food he eats or chewing ice, afraid his teeth might break. One day, Shane sneaks into the room behind Kate and sees the lights flicker off and then back on. When Matt enters, he discovers that the room has turned into a huge forest, exactly like the one Shane had imagined. Matt realizes things are becoming more dangerous as time passes. He pulls Shane out of the room, forbids him from entering again, locks the door, and tells Kate that no one will ever enter it again. He explains that Shane has become dangerous. He could simply wish for a dragon and destroy them all. Then the phone rings. Shane answers it, even though he's forbidden to. The caller is John Doe from the mental hospital, who still knows the house's phone number because he once lived there. Matt snatches the phone from Shane and speaks to John Doe. John tells him it's obvious they wished for a child, and that the child has grown after leaving the room, and this is what will happen if he stays outside for too long. He will age rapidly and die. But John also says there's one way for the child to stop aging and live a normal life. Kate is secretly listening from the second receiver. She hears John say, "For something the room creates to truly live, the creator must die." That means for Shane to live normally, Kate has to die. John adds that if Shane himself killed her, he could be arrested and locked away in the mental hospital just like John. Matt realizes then that John Doe was also born in the room. That's why there were no records of him. He was an illusion of the room who killed his parents to survive. While Kate is listening, she accidentally makes a noise, and Matt realizes she's overheard everything. Before he can reach her, she's taken the car and driven away from the house, leaving Matt alone with Shane. Shane keeps asking Matt where his mother is, pestering him until Matt loses his temper. He snaps and tells Shane, "You're not real. You're an illusion. You don't have a mother or father." Then Matt drags him to the door, opens it, and tells him that if he steps outside, he will die. There are no germs out there to harm him. The story about germs was only made up to scare him from leaving. Shane is scared of Matt and runs to his room. Kate returns to the house and meets Matt. She tells him she needed time to think about what she heard and doesn't want to talk about it anymore. During the day, Shane sneaks out and steals Matt's keys. Matt wakes up to the sound of the door opening. Both of them get up to see who opened it. They find Shane's clothes lying on the floor and hear a noise coming from the living room. When they go in, they discover that Shane has aged. He's now a grown young man, and he's holding Matt's gun. He threatens Matt, saying he wants to kill him because he doesn't like him and wants to be with Kate all the time. Kate tries to calm Shane and take the weapon from him. Matt suddenly attacks Shane, and in the struggle, Kate is thrown against the edge of the piano and loses consciousness. Before fainting, she sees Matt fighting with Shane. When she wakes up, she finds Matt beside her, comforting her. She asks what happened to Shane, and he tells her that during their fight, a bullet went off accidentally, hitting Shane and killing him. Matt says he took Shane's body outside so it would disappear like everything else that leaves the house. He then carries Kate back into the house, but suddenly, it's revealed that the real Matt is actually lying unconscious inside the house, while the one with Kate is not real. The real Matt wakes up, confused, and starts searching for Kate, but can't find her anywhere. He rushes to the mysterious room, looks for the key, but it's gone. He realizes that Shane and Kate are inside the room, and Shane has locked the door from the inside. Desperate, Matt begins breaking through the wall of the room, trying to dig his way in to reach the living room. Matt realizes that Shane wished to look exactly like him, and just as he once created an entire forest, he also created a perfect replica of their house inside the room. That's why he was able to step outside the real house's threshold, because the house he was in was actually an illusion inside the room. Shane, now in Matt's form, sits with Kate, eating together. But then Shane makes a mistake. He starts chewing on ice, something Kate instantly recognizes, because Matt never does that. Only Shane does. She begins to suspect him and tries to escape. At the same time, the real Matt finally breaks through the wall and enters the room. He runs through the forest until he finds the replica of their home, realizing Shane's plan. Inside, Shane, still looking like Matt, tries to seduce Kate, believing that if he acts like Matt, she'll love him the same way. The real Matt enters the illusionary house, and as Kate runs away, she suddenly finds herself facing two Matt, both identical. She doesn't know which one to trust. She runs toward one of them, but as they flee together, she calls him Shane. He looks at her, and she realizes he's actually Shane, not Matt. She pushes him down the stairs. He falls and loses consciousness. Kate runs out of the illusionary house toward the forest entrance of the room. She and the real Matt manage to open the door and return to the real house. They try to escape before Shane can reach them. Matt stands by the open front door as Shane rushes toward him. At the last moment, Matt lures Shane outside the house, and Kate slams the door shut. Through the window, Kate watches as Shane begs to be let in, then rapidly ages before her eyes, turning into an old man before collapsing and crumbling to ash. A month later, Kate takes a pregnancy test, and it comes back positive. She is left terrified and confused, wondering whether her baby is Matt's or Shane's.